Welcome to the state of PA football as PA Football News presents its weekly look at high school football across the state.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. I have no regrets, yeah, I'll tie up my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in.
Did you know there are 555 total high school football programs in the state? Did you also know there are a total of 58 college programs ranging from D1 to D3 in the state of Pennsylvania? Whether you're a bulldog, a lion, a crusader, an eagle, or a millionaire, we got you covered.
You already know, turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and die.
Here at PA Football News, we got you covered. And now, your host, Billy Splain.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Billy Splain. I'm the owner of PAFootballNews.com. Before we get into our regular programming tonight, I want to tell you about an opportunity that we have here at PAFootballNews.com for students all over the state of Pennsylvania. And even if you're outside or if you're a college student, we have an opportunity that I believe is unique to PAFootballNews.com. We have internships, and you can contact me. My name and number and email are all over our website. It's Billy at PAFootballNews.com. Contact me. Let me know if you want to be an intern. One of the biggest advantages I feel like is we have trained professionals on our website who help you learn the trade of sports journalism through whether you're interested in video or whether you like to write. You want to be a sideline reporter. You want to someday be that dude sitting on ESPN, sitting behind a desk. We train it all. We teach it all. There's a lot more than just picking up a camera and going like this and doing this and things like that. So who I have here right to my left, to your right, is Nick Mastropolito. He's a 15-year-old. He's down in Philadelphia. He's kicking some butt this year. Nick, I want to say thank you for joining our team. You are a gem on our team. And I would like to have you just tell people out here what you think of the internship and what kind of opportunity it is for people who are not taking advantage of it.
I think that it was probably the coolest or best decision that I made this summer when I reached out to you to join. I think it means sort of responsibility, getting your stories in, going out to football games, doing your research. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun, and you're around a lot of knowledgeable people that know exactly what they're doing, and they're very nice. The entire staff here at PA Football News is very jolly, as I would say. So any questions that you need, they're willing to answer in a timely manner. So I think overall, this internship is something special that anybody could take advantage of. And I think if you don't take advantage of it, it's a little silly. I think it's such a unique experience. It looks very good on a resume, and when you're applying places, it's very good. And overall, it builds you up with a lot of experience. And who doesn't love sitting right on the sideline? Not sitting, only standing. As Billy, see, there we go. On the sideline of a football game and watching some of the best teams in Pennsylvania, one of the most prestigious states in all of America in high school football, go to work.
I don't think, and Nick, one other thing, I don't think people realize like the people you get to meet while you're doing this on the sideline at a football game. I mean, you've interviewed people who are likely to be on an NFL roster someday.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to talk to some of the top um, high school players in the state of Pennsylvania, guys that are committed to the University of Missouri, University of Notre Dame. A lot of, I don't know if it's University of, but whatever. Anyways, a lot of unique faces that you get to see, people from different outlets that you get to interact with, people from news stations. I met a guy when I was at Strathaven High School from NBC 10, and it's just a lot of different connections that you're able to make as you're continuing to go on the sideline of these games, because everybody has the same objective as you at the end of the day, to go to the game and get your news in a timely manner, and it's a lot of fun while doing that. So everybody is kind because it's not a fight to do this. It's tons of fun, and overall, it's just a great experience.
That's Nick Marsmelito. He's one of our best interns. Hopefully, he'll join the dozens and dozens and dozens of others who have entered the sports journalism world that have been interns at PA Football News.
At PAFootballNews.com,
headquarters is a
we've got you
family-owned
covered.
business
If you're looking for the best coverage of high school football in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, check out PAFootballNews.com. From schedules to rankings, game coverage to Friday night scoreboard, live streams, and more, PA Football News is the one-stop shop for everything high school football in Pennsylvania. Follow us on Twitter at PA Football News and visit us at PAFootballNews.com. We got you covered.
And welcome to the State of PA Football Bracket Breakdown Edition, playoff week number 3 on PAFootballNews.com. I got my staff with me right here. We got Matt, then up here. Oh, Matt's the traveling guy. All the way over on that far side there with the headset on. That is, ladies and gentlemen, the young goat. Say your name, Nick.
I'm Nick Mastropolito, and they call me the young goat, and I'm better than Willie. So I'm here to cancel out a lot of the things that Willie says that are wrong. And yeah,
He's here to school Willie.
Goat.
This here's Willie right here. Everybody in District 1 knows Willie McGonigal, but when the young goat gets done with him, I think they're going to forget about Willie. And over here, J-Man up in District 2, Jared. Guys, what a crazy weekend. I want to start off by saying it's like the cream rises to the top at this time of the year. The pretenders show us they're pretending, and then we get to see those who didn't deserve in our rankings to begin with fall off, and we get to see that. But the other thing we get to see is more of the same. Like, you think they're out, you think they're gone, it's a new era, and before you know it, Southern Columbia and Aliquippa are rising right back to the top where they always are, guys. Let's have at it, gentlemen.
Yeah, so like you said, Southern Columbia over Troy big last week, 42-0. Everything old is new again. One season, 7-5 last year, and right back at it. So I think this was a week of where teams can't get over the hump. You know, like Williams Valley beat Haven. Haven just can't get over that Williams Valley hump. 3 years in a row lost in the district finals. McKeesport can't get past Aliquippa. Aliquippa's down this year, number 7 seed in 4A in the Whitfield. McKeesport can't get past them. And then probably the biggest upset of the week is Laurel over Fort Cherry. So the end of Matt Sig's career and at Fort Cherry, just an unreal week. And like you said, cream rises to the top, contenders and pretenders.
It's crazy. I mean, to think about, like, stop me if you've seen this movie before too. Right now we have Bishop Guilfoyle and Clareton vying for 1A spots. And, you know, it's just here's a little thing, jumping on what you said, Matt, with Laurel, taking down Fort Cherry. The last time Laurel won a Whitfield championship was in 1980. They beat Clareton that year.
That was also the last time Clareton lost before they went on their 66-game winning streak.
That's correct. It is. So it's just like, it's crazy to talk about. Young is old is young. You know, hey, who knows? Maybe we're looking at the new Willie over there on the far side there, and you know, young is old and old is young. You can't tell. One other thing one other score that you know, there's more than one other score, But like State College is there, Chester is now there. That's new. Lackawanna Trail, they've been around for a long time. Central Catholic, Richland. We got to see Richland. Matt and I did this week. They're the big winners over McCourt. Um, you know, let's mention a couple of newbies. Let's talk about Solanco. Solanco's new to this field of what are we at? 24 or 48 right now, the field of 48, right? So they're new. You got Penn Cambria, who's still in there. Avonworth, Amani Christian, Laurel, Pine Richland, Seton LaSalle. But let's talk about Scranton Prep, who's always there. Scranton Prep with a huge win, 28-21 over Mifflinburg, J-Man.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny. It's just the way that they've been winning some of those games this year, Scranton Prep, and it's the Will McPartland show right now. That kid is just amazing, and it's hard for teams to stop him because there's a lot of different things that he does on both sides of the ball. So it's just an incredible story for them. Might be coming to an end this week, though, unfortunately,
or might not. You just never know. You never know. Willie. And we'll bring Nick on this too. Springfield Delco. Willie, since you left Springfield, they've been doing all right, man. You were like an anchor, I think. What's up, dude?
Hey, I made a couple district championships when I was there at Springfield, but Chris Britton is one of the great guys in District 1. I'm happy to see him continue the success. I hope that he's able to get over the hump and get a district title that he deserves. But when we talk more about 5A, we'll talk about the challenge that he has this week. Another tough challenge this week.
Penridge and Coatesville. That was a close game this week. Penridge, out of nowhere, Penridge this year, guys. Literally out of nowhere.
No, I mean, like you said, talking about in District 1, you have Penridge versus North Penn. I think all of us here agree that North Penn is no surprise to be there. Dick Beck has been there numerous times, has won several District 1 championships, and he was among the preseason favorites to get there again this year. But Penridge, hey, you know what? I tip my hat to the job that Coach Kyle Bell has done, turning it around, and under with Noah Keaton, who got earlier this week. I looked back. I was actually at the first game of Kyle Bella's and Noah Keaton's career when they played downtown East back when Noah Keaton was a freshman, and they got destroyed in that game. And to see them from where they were to where they are now, one win away from being district champions, is a great thing.
I know, Nick, you've covered Strathaven several times this year and Springfield. What was the difference for Springfield over Strathaven in that game?
Well, Strathaven had a different game plan coming into the game. The previous matchup, they rushed the ball upwards of 30 times, as they do almost every single week, but they came in, they threw it 4 times on the first drive, which was something different. The Springfield defense was just unbelievable. They couldn't get anything going, really, and then the offense, sophomore quarterback Johnny Hopkins has really found his footing in the offense, and Luke Valerio had a 2-touchdown game, so they're really a balanced offense right now, and it just helped propel them over Strathaven.
That's a big deal down that way. Coatesville, I did not expect Coatesville to go down. North Pocono, 40, Shanahan, 36, Jared and Willie. That was some game, huh?
That was a wild game. I got caught without my battery charger for that one.
Yeah, I like some of the things that I saw. I think we saw it. I think a little bit on Saturday too, Billy. There's a community support that sometimes when teams travel far, there's a lot more to it. I've seen it, and especially it seems to hold especially true for District 2 teams, because they always seem to be traveling out of the mountains and going someplace, and the fans came down en masse, and impressive.
Absolutely.
Big shout out, right, Willie, to the North Pocono faithful.
Absolutely, right? They had an over 2-hour trip on. First off, on a Friday night, which is difficult to do, but to make the 2 hour trip and when I tell you the North Pocono part of the stands was filled, at one point I looked up and I could not see an empty spot. Like they could not possibly have fit another person in their part of the stands, and it made for an amazing environment. And they were involved in the whole game. And I tip my hat to North Pocono. Right after the game ended, all they did it. All the players and coaches went over and saluted their fans. And the coach made a point to say during his interview, they didn't do that as a disrespect to Bishop Shanahan, but as a way to thank the fans for coming out and showing the family support.
Good to know fans still travel. I know Southern Columbia, there's some teams that do travel. Southern Columbia definitely does. And, some of the Northeastern PA football teams travel very well. I've been to a couple of games down in southeastern PA where the crowds are just outstanding. I've been to that. Which one was it? I went to Perkiomen Valley or Springford and Perkiomen Valley. That place was jam packed a couple 2 years ago. It was crazy.
Two great rivals in the pack.
Yeah, that's a huge game. Steel and Highspire on the roll too, Matt. I mean, like they're just rolling along. Westinghouse is back in there. This is talking old school. I mean, like, Steel High every year. Like they've been doing this for 30, 40 years, way back to the old Penn Conference when they were winning titles back then, and they were playing 3 and 4A schools as a 1A school.
Yeah, I look at Steel High similar to like an Aliquippa, where it's just a tough town, man. Like these kids come through these programs, and it's just a next level athlete. They go to those schools. When you look at like an Aliquippa with Coach Warfield or Steel High with Coach Irby, these are just coaches that get it done, regardless of what talent level or numbers they have. Tough town, tough kids, tough coaches. I mean, if you're on a sideline with the Steel High game or a Aliquippa game, you probably hear some things you've never heard in your life, and you're surprised kind of the way their coaches talk to their kids, but the kids respond. And that's been decades and decades of work in those programs.
Yeah. Northwestern Lehigh, no problem with Notre Dame Green Pond. The biggest upset of the weekend, I think, well, at least one of two, is Easton over Parkland, 42-17. They didn't beat Eastland or Parkland. They crushed them. However, PJ Lawrence was out early in the first or second quarter. So that was a big loss for Parkland, but still, I mean, one person and a 30-point difference. I don't know. That's pretty tough to overcome. Oil City taking out Punxsutawney. We were high on Punxsy this week, or all season long. Sharon over Hickory is another small upset. Not a big upset because those two battle each other. I went to see Farrell beat Karn City. Very athletic team. We'll talk about that when we get to the brackets. Very, very athletic. Pine Richland struggled a little bit with Moon this week. They did not look like stellar, but Moon has really come on as of late. And I know Mia and Annabelle and our District 7 crew have warned us about Moon for a couple of weeks now coming into the playoffs. So that was something to watch out for. See, LaSalle, Steel Valley, the biggest mystery of the Whitfield right now.
Yeah, it's all centered around Barksdale, their quarterback / running back. And we've been saying it all year. We have no clue who's coming out of 2A Whitfield. We thought Seton LaSalle was the best team, and we kind of backed off of that when Khalil Taylor transferred out to Pine Richland. But they're right there again. That's a talented team. And Steel Valley, again, Barksdale can carry that team on its back. But we'll see how it plays out this week.
Yeah, Bishop Guilfoyle rolled 62-6. Penn Cambria won last week over Brockway. Avonworth got the win. Clareton big over Bishop Canavan. Amani, according to AJ, 48-0 over Central Valley. That's a pretty good thumping over, like, not one of the better Central Valley teams, but I mean, it's still Central Valley, and to put 48 on them in the playoffs is pretty heavy. No surprises there. Twin Valley, I think, is on a roll. I am going to mention one game that I know a lot of us are interested in after I give these scores. Trinity gets a 17-0 win. Hollidaysburg, we'll come back to that one. McDevitt, big win. Central York, big win. Solanco, big win. Twin Valley, big win. But let's talk about Hollidaysburg 56, Delaware Valley 42.
Yeah, and Delaware Valley was up 21-0 in that game. And you cannot, like, here's the thing. Hollidaysburg, we've watched them. We talked about them all year. Good team, better than last year, playing better than last year. Got into this round of the playoffs and almost got stunned by a quarterbackless Abington Heights team last year. And I thought this game would be interesting, but just really wacky. And Hollidaysburg better watch out because you cannot, like, you're going to face a team pretty soon that you're going to give up 21 points or something to early, and you're not coming back from that. So
that was
they
quite a
fix
comeback.
that.
I mean, they were down
Crazy.
21, and they come back and get that game. Last one I want to mention. Well, not the last one, the next to the last one, because they're very similar. And I didn't realize it until I was watching the film this morning or yesterday for PFN Taps into the State. Two games finished almost identically. But this one was the walk-off game. Susquehanna Township trailing Wyomissing. Last play of the game, Torrin Evans scramble. Just watch it here. Scrambles and just tosses a prayer to the back of the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, walk-off, winning touchdown pass. Shades of St. Joe's Prep and Pittsburgh Central Catholic, Marvin Harrison Jr. Altoona's Minch Park, same exact thing, only it wasn't for the win, it was for the tie. But what a game for Township over Wyomissing. That's a huge win. That is it's probably the biggest win in Township's history of football. The biggest win. But I think another one happened this past weekend, and it was some game. I'll tell you what. And it took us all by surprise. We talked about old is old, new is new. Aliquippa 21, McKeesport 12. Matt, you got a very similar film to the Torrin Evans touchdown. Let's take a look at it while you're talking about it.
Yeah, so it was 14-12. Aliquippa was winning the game at the time. It was late fourth quarter. I think there was maybe 2.5, 3 minutes left. And the quarterback had no play. He was scrambling, Marquise Council. He threw up a prayer, I'd say. There's 3 McKeesport defenders in the end zone. And Khalil Good just gets it above all 3 McKeesport players, brings it down, taps the toe, and for the touchdown, and that put the game away.
It's crazy. I'm gonna bring both those plays up on the screen right now and run them side by side while we keep talking, because you can see, like, both plays were almost identical. The quarterback scrambled to their left, scrambled to their right, scrambled around, look, heave, throw. Both players go up in the air. I mean, like, you want to talk about identical plays to get the win. That was just crazy. Like, that I picked that out. I was like, holy cow. Greenville 25, Wilmington 22. How about Greenville, guys? Wow. Like,
crazy. Love it.
It's their first district championship since our photographer Psychotic was a senior in high school. That's a long time. Long time. Harrisburg rolled over Manheim Township. From what I'm told, a lot of penalties in that game. LaSalle College struggled. I'm going to say struggled with Imhotep. They got a late score to make it 31-16, but at that time, it was not 31-16.
Mm-hmm.
Imhotep Charter was a score away from tying that game up.
Yeah, how much of that was LaSalle having the bye week the week before, and from what our photographer Jordan told me, he felt as if LaSalle let their foot off the gas a little bit in the second half. But, I tip my hat to Imhotep because Coach Johnson had his boys ready to go in the second half and made it an interesting game, and you know what? It usually in the District 12 6A championship. Let's be honest, we're used to seeing the Catholic League champion just steamroll whoever was coming out of the pub, and it was actually nice to see that it was a good game for a while.
Belmont Charter 36, York Catholic 20. Nick, you want to handle that one? You get the notes? No, you didn't get those notes. Willie did.
I got notes. I got Belmont. Hey, you know what? Belmont Charter's having a great year, and the scary thing is that their quarterback is only a freshman, Nafis Watkins. He's already shattered the school record for passing yards in a season with over 1,200, and he's got a couple targets in Moses forever. Pardon me for butchering the last name. And then they have an athlete on the defensive side, Ellis Cologne.
He's really good. Yeah, he's a good football player. Yeah,
yes.
I like him a lot. Yeah, good football player. He's tough, hard-nosed, old school. Belmont Charter just rolling 36-20 over York Catholic. How about Cardinal O'Hara in the playoffs, deep in the playoffs, with the 34-6 win over West Philly? Who did that?
Yes.
Who wants to take that one? Are we going to give that to Willie or Nick? You going to take that?
I think we should give it to the Cowell kid. Make him talk about O'Hara.
All right, let's go for it. Cardinal O'Hara expected to win over the West Philly Speed Boys, and they won by a large margin. They have the leading Catholic League rusher in Amaj Gowans, and he is so dominant. There's no way that they can't run at such an efficient rate with him in the backfield. He's very, very good. Cardinal O'Hara struggled at the beginning. It was tied, I believe, 6-6, but then they just kind of ran away with things. They knew they were going to beat West Philly, and then now they'll have a tough matchup this week. Maybe Willie will not have a great time.
We love rivalries on our team, too. Chester, 27, Ruston, 13. Willie, did that surprise you or no?
Yes, a little bit. I mean, once again, Chester was without their superstar wide receiver, Devon Harris, due to the second game of his suspension from being ejected in the first round, but yet the offense seems to have no problems rolling at all. And the scary thing for Springfield is now that Ron should be back this week. So
yeah,
and he's well rested. So that's gonna be interesting to see.
We'll have to see what well rested does to you. Does it make you weak or does it make you strong? We'll see this week. Did I miss any other big stories this week? I do want to mention something if you guys don't have anything. Anybody have any other stories that they want to throw out there?
The game you and I were at Saturday.
Oh yeah, Lackawanna. I forgot about that one. There you go. Yeah, Lackawanna.
Yeah.
What a game that was.
That was a really good game and could have swung the other way. If it wasn't for a couple plays, it just fell.
Yeah.
Lime Mountain is really good. Like there's no doubt about it. I mean, they just had so many different guys, so many different receivers. And Caden Morrow he's fantastic. They're good. They're really, really good. Trail gets the win. They really had to earn it, though. I mean, they really had to earn it. Things had to kind of fall away.
I personally think if Trail doesn't get that pick six in early, it's a different game. I really do.
Really, you hate to say that
the game.
You hate to say that it's a play of the game that early in the game, but that really was.
It was.
Because they had the ball the entire first quarter, and they were down 7-0 until about a minute left. They had the ball the whole time. It was crazy, but yeah, it just kind of took the life out of them for a minute.
Yeah, that was some game, and hats off to the quarterback. I mean, he's not a big kid; he's a small kid. He played a really good game, and he tried his best, but he came up in clutch moments when Lackawanna Trail needed it.
Oh,
and
yeah,
of course,
Isaac.
Yeah. Isaac Ryan, he did what he does. He just runs the ball and he runs very well. So, but hats off to Lime Mountain. What a great season they had.
Terrific. They're really, really good. They're really good.
One thing we can't forget Southern Lehigh 49, Bethlehem Catholic 28 on a Thursday night. No Thursday games this year, and in a weird way, like I don't know how it happened. The only Saturday games were at Acrisure this year. I think that's the first time I can remember that in at least 10 to 15 years. There's always Saturday games throughout the state, but this year none. I don't know what happened there. But one thing I would like to bring up, and it was a topic that I read today, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Mike White from the Post Gazette put out a article today about Matt Sig, and in his opening paragraph, he said, "Unfortunately, sometimes a kid gets remembered for what he does after high school in football than what he did in high school for football." I want to get your thoughts on that statement. I know what my thoughts are. My thoughts are I think that's a bullshit story. That's a crap. That's because any town like, and I like Mike White, but I think that was just a headline, an opening paragraph that he struggled with maybe or something. But you go to any town across Pennsylvania, those people remember what kids did for them in high school football. I mean, like they know. I mean, Matt, you're in an area where you could go a mile this way and a mile that way, and they know who all the studs were in high school. They don't care what they did at college.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy that moved back to town after he played pro football, Henry Hanoski. He's the principal at Southern Columbia now, and he's a part of the town just like everybody else. But there's nobody that doesn't know who or what Henry Hanoski did when he was in high school. Berwick, similar story. With Bo Orlando back as the AD. There's nobody in that area that doesn't know who Bo Orlando is. And I can tell you this, Matt Sig is one of the greatest players to ever play in the Whippeal. Nobody will forget that ever.
No.
And it doesn't matter, that he didn't win a playoff game. Like that's not part of the Matt Sig allure. What part of it is what people saw on Friday night, and they'll never forget it.
Yeah, I agree. So what I want to do here is I want to get a young goat perspective on this. Nick, like, do you have kids that and stories? What are you, 15, right? You're 15?
Yeah.
Do you have players and stories that you kids talk about from your high school or high schools in your area?
Oh
That you're
yeah.
like, yeah, remember him? He was so good.
Just from like the Philadelphia Catholic League alone, I think it's a daily conversation that a lot of me and my friends have is just about how legendary a bunch of the guys that have went on to play professional sports have been in college and the major leagues. Just for some examples, like Derek Jones Jr., who is an Archbishop Carroll alum on a daily basis. He was an 1,000-point scorer. Can talk all day about the accomplishments he had. Marvin Harrison Jr., even though he was an NFL draftee and is producing at a good enough level, we still talk about how dominant he was for St. Joe's Prep and how he kind of revolutionized everything that he did over there. So I think Matt Seg is one of the, I don't know if I butchered that last name. That's on me. But he is one of the best football players out in that area, and I think everything that he's done, even people around here, to some extent, know who he is. So I think he will definitely be remembered for what he
That's
did.
a great statement right there, young goat. Great statement. Um, I actually like. I was talking. I think it's the opposite. I think a lot of times kids get forgotten in high school, and then when they get to college and maybe above, then people are like, people still don't say like, yeah, but he wasn't a great high school football, or he was a great high school football. They'll say it right out, like Jared Verse, Central Columbia. Did anybody know who Jared Verse was when he played for Central Columbia? Did you, Matt?
No, and when I saw him playing at Florida State, I'm like, this kid went to Central Columbia. Like I
Yeah.
didn't. We're talking 20 minutes up the road. I had
I'll,
no clue who the kid was.
He had
I'll give you
tackles.
I'll give you another
He
one,
had
Billy.
3 tackles his senior season. 3.
I'll
That's
I'll
it.
give you another one. The fullback for the fullback on the during the Patriots dynasty a couple of years ago, Pat Devlin. You I didn't realize that until it was mentioned during the Super Bowl week when he went to Boyertown. I didn't realize that until then.
I knew
I'll
that.
give you I'll give you one
Of course
other
we do.
one that's totally different. It'll take you by surprise. So my dad grew up in the Johnstown area, and both his parents were school teachers, and my grandmother taught a young man in school who went on to win 6 NCAA wrestling titles. I think you two wrestling guys probably even know who it is, Carlton Hasselrig, who went on to play pro football with the Steelers. And my grandmother taught him in grade school, and she knew when she saw him that something was going to be great. So she stuck with him the whole time, watched and boom, and all of a sudden he's playing for the Steelers. Sit there glued to the TV every Sunday, watch him.
Yeah, so I mean, like that's the fun part about high school football is, you know, people don't realize how legendary you are, and a lot of times I'll go out and talk to the kids before the game. Like a lot of times the referee will say, "Billy, would you like to speak to the kids before we go?" And I will. And one thing I'll say is embrace the heritage of this game, because someday you are going to be the heroes that those kids over there look up to. And they're going to remember your names for what you did here, not what you did after you graduate. That's what I tell these kids all the time. So, sorry, Mike Wait, I disagree with your statement. There's some great high school football players who never did anything else. And I don't know if anybody who moved on that was a great high school football player and was forgotten what they did for high school football. I think the backside of it is it's probably 99% of these people get remembered for what they do in high school, and 1% get remembered for what they did in college. It's pretty much what I think it is. Of course, then again, that like falls in line with the recruiting thing where, you know, basically 1% of all high school football players go to the NFL. Anyway, that was fun. We got scores, we got a topic, and now we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to break down the brackets. There are not very many teams to talk about and not very many games to talk about, but we're going to talk about them after these messages from our sponsor.
You want to be able to play as hard as you can, as safe as you can.
Whenever I have the safe cap on, it absorbs most of the blow.
You can tell it's a little bit softer. When you get hit, it's just like kind of bounces off instead of reverberates through your helmet.
So when we look at those tests, when we had a safer cover on a football helmet, on average, it reduced accelerations by 11%.
My name is Carlos Bradley. I'm a former NFL player and currently chairman of Safer Sports. What is Safer Sports? We are a soft shell technology company. Our product, the Safer Helmet Cover, has been tested at Virginia Tech Helmet Lab and is proven to reduce the risk of concussion by as much as 77%. So if you have a youth league, a high school or college, and you want to be safer, get in touch at safersports.com.
The Cobalt Plus headset system delivers proven performance along with more users, more flexibility. That's why coaches across Pennsylvania trust Cobalt Plus. CoachCom makes tough headset systems for tough teams. We build headsets to help teams win. Call or click to learn more about Cobalt Plus from the proven leader in football communications.
For over a decade, Circle W Sports has delivered top-tier athletic websites and helped numerous student athletes get noticed. Now, we're taking things to the next level with Showcase. We've reimagined everything, combining the power of our proven platform into one sleek, all-in-one profile that's customizable, dynamic, and built just for you. No more juggling multiple profiles. No more messy links. Every Showcase tier includes a personalized QR code and short link, making it easier than ever to share your story, anytime, anywhere. Think of it as your own digital scrapbook. Post highlights, add workout clips, upload photos, share your stats, achievements, and more, all in one place. Whether you're chasing scholarships, creating your personal brand with our name, image, and likeness offerings, or you just want to show off your grind, Showcase puts your journey front and center with packages starting at $9.99 per month. It's your game, your story, your future. Get noticed, get recruited, and most importantly, get ahead. with Showcase.
Fitness Headquarters is a family-owned business distributing commercial and residential exercise equipment and accessories throughout Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and the Mid-Atlantic area for over 30 years. We offer our own premium Olympic iron plates made right here in Pennsylvania. We also offer a full line of home gyms, bars, accessories, supplements, and cardio from Life Fitness, True, Precor, and Horizon Fitness. We have it all. We also proudly supply and service schools, universities, medical facilities, and gyms. Need advice or recommendations? Stop in or give us a call. Let Fitness Headquarters design and set up your workout room. We are a family business and our customers are our family. Visit us at one of our locations in Dixon City or Wilkes-Barre. For store hours, locations, and phone numbers, visit fithq.com.
Thank you for calling Promises Internet Service. Please remain on the line. Due to high call volume around the world, it's likely you'll be on hold for, well, over an hour.
Get faster speeds for less money than the national companies at CenterWisp in Central Pennsylvania. CenterWisp is your fast local internet provider. For more information, go to centerwisp.com. That's CenterWisp.com. Now with faster speeds.
Welcome back to the State of PA Football, the bracket breakdown show. We're in week 3, going into, I don't know, week 4 to playoffs or whatever. We're a week away from the semifinals. It's crazy to think that, Matt. It's just crazy, man. It's scary. I don't want it to end, but I mean, like this is probably the fastest season I can remember. And I think it's due to all of our staff on PA Football News. It made my life easy this year. And there's nothing to like hang on where it was like really difficult. So kudos to them. Kudos to everyone who participated and brought in highlights. I'm glad. I hope you got to see your team on PFN Taps Into the State. That was quite a show. And right now, I want to take some time to thank some of our sponsors. I want to thank CoachCom for being a longtime sponsor of ours, and they are a sponsor of our brackets. Without CoachCom, these brackets may not happen. Without Safer Sports creating helmet covers to keep our kids safe, these brackets don't happen. Why? Because these sponsors help pay for our reporters and our website to be online. It's expensive to have a website like this, and there's a lot that goes behind it. I want to thank NFHS Network for coming on board this year. What a great partnership. They've helped us tremendously, and we hope to help them next year. And I want to thank Circle W Sports and Ed Weaver for building our brackets and getting them online every week. We have the only interactive brackets that are live updated as soon as the scores go in. So Friday night, when the games are over, if you're not in the Whitfield, you can see who your opponent's going to be next week. Check it out. All right, guys, let's get right to it. Let's go right out to the Whitfield, and I'm going to let him brag about it. Laurel is playing Clinton for the Class 1A title game. Tell them why that's important to our rankings game, Nick.
I am a huge Laurel guy. It was very early in the Young Goat reign when I picked Laurel out of the blue. Did not know much about Laurel, but I thought they were pretty cool at the time. And it just so happened that they had a good record, and Billy said, I think they're going to win out. And that's mainly what happened in their conference. They're 12-1.
Hey, who said they were going to who said they were going to win out?
You said they were going to win out.
The old goat. That's it. So, yeah, let's talk about it, man. Clareton and, Laurel, I'll be honest with you. I couldn't name one player from Laurel's football team, but I'm sure somebody in here might be able to.
I can.
No? You can. Go ahead. Let us know, Nick.
Their starting quarterback, Luca Santini, who has over 1,000 passing yards. He's about to hit the 1,300 mark. He's been high quality this year, and he's paired up with a bunch of offensive weapons like Nate Hill, who's their leading rusher, and Colton Carlson, who is the leading receiver with about 600 receiving yards. And Hill with about 700 rushing yards. So they have a solid offense. I don't know much about Clareton other than that they use the Chicago Bears logo, but I am a huge Laurel guy in this offense.
We know about Clareton, don't we, Matt?
Yeah, it's state championship or bust for Coach Wayne Wade. So, Jeff Thompson, Brandon Murphy, Michael Ruffin, these are all names that Western PA knows very well. And, it'll be interesting to see because I'm sure they were gearing up for a game against Fort Cherry in the Whitfield final back at Acrisure. And now, they got to change lanes a bit and get up for a game against Laurel. So we'll see how they handle it. Super athletic team. And I've been with them all year. I think they're the best team in the state in 1A.
What a game, what a matchup that's going to be. I'm excited for that. By the way, we're going to have full coverage of Acrisure on our website, on Twitter. We'll put out a follow Friday thing or a follow Saturday thing. Mia, the state champion, Williams, and Annabelle Aquinas, and Deacon's going to be out there taking pictures, and we've got AJ's going to be there, Brett's going to be there, and Ethan Spazarski's going to be there. We got full coverage all day long, so we'll be telling you where to follow that. Greenville and Port Allegheny. Port, not such a surprise, guys. Aiden Bliss. I mean, he just keeps plowing away, and they had no problem at all with Red Bank Valley this week, 41-19. They're going to take on a Greenville team that I would call that an upset. When they took down Wilmington, Port Allegheny does not have the line that they had last year, but they are just mowing people down all the way through and doing a great job. Greenville, very good football players at Greenville, and big win for them over Wilmington. I did not see them beating Wilmington.
Yeah, it's the Aiden Blitz show, and he's gonna take that team as far as he can. Same thing as last year. Took him to the state finals. It's all about Port Allegheny and District 9. It's interesting, like these teams get on runs, and not always in single A. They get on runs in terms of teams that you see year after year. Of course, you have Irby gets on a run and Steel High, but when a team gets on a run and they can ride a kid, especially in the lower, like a single A, double A, it's almost impossible to stop because they're horses.
Yeah, Greenville, Rudy Gentile had a great game. This was a game that we joke. Actually, Shane Lux jokes about it because he's out there. And he jokes, "Oh yeah, we like to play till midnight out here, District 10." And it was literally the last game, the last score we were waiting for because they had a 1 hour lightning delay. So I was driving home from Altoona waiting for the final score before he could put the scoreboard stuff up. But Gentile had 41 yards and a score. They've got a kid named Thurber there that plays really good football too. So Greenville just solid football team all the way through, just solid. That's all I can say about them. And no superstars. They just have some good football players. But Rudy Gentile is the guy. Cale Thurber is a good football player too, but it's Thurber that gets their running game going. Moving on, let's go talk about Bishop Guilfoyle and Westinghouse. Guilfoyle getting along with a kid named Justin Wheeler. Sounds like the coach's name because that is the coach's name. He's the quarterback, just doing Guilfoyle things every week. They're just mowing over opponents. It's that time of the year.
We haven't talked much about Guilfoyle this year. It's a team that reloads every year, but we haven't talked about them much because they've had some tough games where usually they're rolling through their schedule out there in District 6. But we'll see this week. They'll get tested by Westinghouse that has some really nice players. I happened to see Westinghouse the first game of the year, and big kids, especially on the line, which is exactly the recipe you need against a Bishop Guilfoyle team. Big kids on the line as well.
Yeah, Guilfoyle gets along with their run game. That's where their bread and butter this year. Of course, with they're missing their big stud Consiglio, who went out early in the season. I think it was the first game, but they still have they've dominated on the line and in the running game. They got another kid there, Jake Kissel. He's running good. Evan Schimminger does a good job for them, and they're just scoring touchdowns and winning just like they always do. Tyson Lastashi, he had a couple of touchdowns and he had an interception. He picked off Jet Rand from Juniata Valley. Jet Rand's a pretty good quarterback, but Juniata Valley just had nothing. It was Jake Kissel who ran away with the game. And I mean, their defense is nasty. They don't allow a lot of points. Guilfoyle's a real deal again. I mean, scary to think that we could be seeing a Guilfoyle Clairton rubber match game.
Yeah, that's some old school Hershey Park state final right there.
That's right. Yeah. Last game of this bracket, Belmont Charter taking on Lackawanna Trail. Jared.
Yeah, so Belmont Charter definitely, as Willie was talking about before, definitely got some athletes. One thing I did notice, they're young. So this core is pretty young. We're going to be talking about these guys next year again. So Nick, Willie, bone up because I think they're going to be back again. They've got some size on that line too. From what I can see, they've got two sizable guys that they count on. But for me, and the team that I kind of know and I've seen quite a bit of, it's Lackawanna Trail and that wing T offense and the way they run the ball. I mean, they've got quarterbacks got 388 yards rushing. Sean Dwyer's a running back, 331 yards rushing. Got some tough runs on Saturday that looked really good. Carter Edwards has 404 yards. And then there's this guy named Isaac Ryan who has 2,756 yards. And the funny thing is, he scored his second touchdown and there was a guy behind me and Ryan celebrated because quite frankly, I mean, he only had 145 yards in the game on Saturday only. And scored his second touchdown. The guy behind him go, "Oh yeah, celebrate. You're the only kid." And I'm like, if he's the only guy running it, you got to stop him. If you know he's going to run it every play, you got to stop him. And teams just haven't been able to really do that.
Lackawanna did throw out of the wing T. I mean, they weren't shy about that. They did throw out of the wing T. And it wasn't. I mean, Jervis wasn't uber accurate, but he wasn't a bad looking quarterback throwing the ball.
No, and I'll tell you what, he's as confident as I've seen him. And I think the strength that team has, aside from, their defense finally coming together a bit, it's Jervis. Every kid on that team will tell you the most valuable player we have on our team is Tyler Jervis because they said the kids all say he knows the offense better than Coach Steve Jervis knows it. And that's saying something. When you have the wing T, you really got to know what's going on. And so this could be a heck of a game Friday night. I'm really, really looking forward to it.
It's going to be a good game, Belmont Charter.
I'm looking forward to seeing how. I know Jared's very high on Trail's defense. I'm looking forward to seeing how Trail matches up with the athletes of Belmont, but also the tempo of the Tigers because and I want to give a shout out to our public league expert Anthony Franklin for giving me and Jared all the notes that he did on Belmont. From my understanding is Belmont likes to run an up tempo offense it makes it hard for the defenses to match up with their offense. I'm very curious to see how that works against a defense as solid as Lackawanna Trail, and
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting.
Two different styles of football being played. The old school wing T real option type of offense that Lackawanna Trail has versus the new school hard-nosed ball. It's going to be of Belmont Charter swinging around. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Nathus Watkins, Moise Fleurville, that's how you say that. Okay, Willie, got it.
Okay. Got it.
All right, yeah. Two really good football players, and they can get it done for Belmont. So exciting to see. Exciting to see. Yeah, that's the 1A breakdown. That's it, man. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 teams, dude. Guys, this is
We're in the unique 8.
Crazy.
8 teams
That
left.
time though.
Yeah, quarterfinals. Oh, breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. But congratulations to all those teams. Let's move on to the 4A bracket. Where you want to start, guys? Let's start in Philadelphia. Let's go down there. Yeah, North Pocono and Cardinal O'Hara. Let's start off with Willie and Jared going at it.
Go for it, Willie.
Throw in some young goat.
Young goat.
Take it.
Right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You still have more than I have this year.
Yeah, and that just shows on you not being the best alumni at O'Hara, but that's okay.
Down goes Willie. Down goes Willie.
Cardinal O'Hara.
Crazy.
That's a good one, Nick. That's a good one. But I've been busy holding down, trying to cover all District 1, so understandable. I got a good reason not to see them. And plus, I have you to cover them.
Slam.
O'Hara's going to face their first test this week. They still have their all-time leading scorer in passing yards, John Weldy, who has been on a down year this past year. They have their top receiver is Fode Wilkes, who has been exceeding expectations, and we already talked about Amaj Gowans, but they're taking on 13-0 North Pocono, who I don't think Willie knows. They have Josiah Gray, who's coming to just go right through the Cardinal O'Hara defense.
I know all about Gray. I saw him last week.
Yeah,
he's their leading rusher.
So here's the thing. So Josiah Gray was hurt early in the year. He's really come on. What did he have? 3 first half touchdowns last week against Bishop Shanahan, didn't he, Willie?
Yes, he did. And
he had him. He's tough.
That Cole West I've seen from up north. I've seen him for his game-winning touchdown. Unfortunately for Billy and the show, my phone was dying, so I couldn't video record it. But I've seen him carry multiple defenders on his way into the end zone last week. And let me tell you, he was on that play. He was a man possessed. He was getting into the end zone. I think O'Hara and Shanahan, his defenses both could have been on him, and he was going to get in the end zone. That's how he was. That's how he was. And you know what? I'm looking forward to. I know. I think we have Davin at that game. I'm looking forward to seeing how O'Hara's defense, like Nick said, this is going to be a tough task for O'Hara's defense to see how they can do it. And
yeah,
this is going to be a tough weekend. We're all going to have everybody's Twitter up. Like we're all going to be watching each other all night.
This game is going to be very close. This game should be very close. It should be similar to last week. It's 40-36 back and forth. Crazy. But it's going to depend on how good North Pocono's defense plays. If they play like they've been playing, then they can win the game. If not, they might be in big trouble. So we'll see. It's going to be a great game.
O'Hara's got to keep an eye out on everybody because they got 8 kids with over 100 rushing yards. So O'Hara can't let their guard down when the 4th string running back comes in, but he's got 500 rushing yards on the season. So it doesn't really matter.
No, it's gonna be a
great game. I'm excited for that game. Let's talk about let's go to Matt. This Oil City, do they have a chance?
Well, it's interesting because we always talked about Oil City because the running back Ethan Knox when he went on his record-setting seasons there, and now Knox, he's been out of the picture for a while now.
A couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, but now. Somehow, Oil City from District 10 is in the state quarterfinal. So, and I'm not sure we expected Oil City to be there, and I'm not sure we expected Aliquippa to be there either. So, two teams that very different districts they come from, but I got to believe Aliquippa is going to be ready to win this game. I can't believe we could see Aliquippa in a state final again. I didn't think it was going to happen this year, but it is a testament. And I said it at the game because I watched him for most of the game. Head coach Mike Warfield makes that program tick. And you saw what happened when he wasn't with the program last year. It
He's
wasn't
so
a good.
calm. He's so calm. He's so cool, collected. Like he doesn't panic at all.
Yeah, the guy's dynamite. His record is dynamite, in his coaching career. And the respect the kids give him, on a few plays this past weekend against McKeesport, I watched him go talk to kids so they didn't get a penalty. Because Aliquippa talks a lot on the sidelines as well as their fans. And he's approaching kids and talking to the kids, not yelling at the kids, so that they understand, let's not get a penalty. We're on a roll right now. And I'm not sure that was in place last season. And I think Warfield does an amazing job, and it's no surprise that they won that game against McKeesport. It's like their 21st district title at Aliquippa. I think McKeesport hasn't won a district title in about 20 years. And despite as talented as those McKeesport teams have been over the years, for some reason they just will not get out of that wishbone, and they run it to death. And I forgot the quote I saw online, but it was something like, so you got Lamborghinis in the backfield, and you're running the ball and refuse to pass. So Aliquippa, an amazing week for Coach Warfield and the Quips.
Yeah, and this is a game of two of the most probably, I would say, the most improbable teams that are gonna playing each other in the quarterfinals. Oil City, I mean, their big win against John McLean a couple of weeks ago. McLean rushed for well over 300 yards. Oil City only had or passed for over 300 yards. Oil City had 64 yards of passing. Rushing, they had about 200 yards of rushing. Oil City did, and McLean, they had about 100 yards of rushing, but they got outplayed the entire game and somehow come away with a 16-14 win over McLean. Braden Buzzard is the player for Oil City. Gets in the end zone. Cole Finley, you've heard that name probably. He does have some talent. Had 134 rushing yards in that McLean game. So, it'll be interesting to see what Oil City brings to the table for Aliquippa. It's amazing that we're talking about these two teams, and we didn't talk about them almost the whole season. It is. Top half of that bracket. I mean, the eastern side of this bracket, or western side, or whatever you want to say it. I mean, this is crazy. Susquehanna Township and Twin Valley. Let's go there first.
So let me say this first. Can we petition the PIAA to start lining up 1 and 4A games on Thursdays, just like they play at the state title?
That would be awesome.
2s and 5s can play on Friday, and 3s and 6s can play on Saturday. Because now all the games except for 4 of these are on Friday night, and we're all stuck going to one of them.
But here's the thing.
We all know you got to travel, Matt.
And here's the thing.
Matt's just trying to add more.
We are the only website. We are the only website in the state that has that dilemma because most other places like the Whippio, all their games are in one spot almost on Saturday, and then they have 2 games on Friday night. So it's good for them. Philadelphia, we are the reporters in Philadelphia, so they don't have any reporters down there. But everybody else, they have a couple games here, and maybe District 2 has 2 teams in it left, or 3, or 3 teams in it. So it's easy for them to get out and cover their teams, but us. But I get what you're saying, and I also understand give your sport more exposure. It's okay, and they're going to complain. They're going to say, oh, you got to travel on a Thursday night. There's really not that much travel this weekend, to be honest with you. An hour at the most, hour and 10 minutes, teams driving at the most.
We want more football. We want more football.
Yeah.
We all want to be able to
But
watch more football.
Twin Valley and Susquehanna Township. Well, what a matchup that's going to be. That's going to be a totally different matchup than Susquehanna Township had against why I'm missing last week. Twin Valley is not township, or why I'm missing. Twin Valley is a totally different beast, and it's going to be interesting to see what township can do and those athletes, because now you're playing against athletes. You're not playing against a wing T guy who's just, they're coming out and they're running the ball. You're playing against athletes. And I know Torrin Evans gets it done for Susquehanna Township, but this Twin Valley defense is another beast.
Yeah, this is the season that Susquehanna's been building towards. So a lot of these teams go in cycles, and this senior class is the cycle that Susquehanna probably was building towards, thinking they had a shot at a state title run. But again, we're still in district play, in District 3, District 1, District 7, a lot of districts still playing, district finals. So it's just as important to win that district title. I'm sure they know they have a squad good enough to get to a state final, but they're looking to win that district title first, and then, deal with business from there. It's always interesting, like District 1, 7, and 3, some of their larger classes. You win your district and you're in a state semifinal. So you got to turn the page real quick and start focusing on, a potential state final game with one more win.
Yeah. I think the key in this game is, once again, and they did it last week, discipline. Susquehanna Township stayed disciplined throughout the game, and they didn't give up the big plays, and they stayed in the game. They did not let why I'm missing intimidate them and push them out of the game. They stayed there. They were there at the end, and they got the win. A huge, huge win. It was amazing. Southern Lehigh and Shamokin. Two amazing running games. Each team has a great quarterback, and each team has a great running back. What a matchup this is, Matt.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened, but I've seen Southern Lehigh 3 out of the 4 last weeks. So I'm like,
because they play on Thursday night.
I know, that's probably it. But yeah, Colton Sams at quarterback is dynamite, 3,000-yard passer. But the offense really runs through Sean Steckert. Like I said, I've seen him quite a bit over the last few weeks. 6 touchdown nights, 5 touchdown nights. He's what makes that offense tick. And then on the Shamokin side, it's all about Logan Steele, Zakem Clinton. They have a really nice defense too, an aggressive coal country, punch you in the mouth type defense too. So I love this matchup. I was hoping it was going to happen last year, and Shamokin lost to Juniana, or they would have played Southern Lehigh in the following round. So finally got the matchup we've been looking for from 2 years ago. It's down at Blue Mountain High School. I'll be there for that one, and super excited to see how these two teams come out. You could see like a 14-7 game, or you could see like a 44-43 type game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I'll tell you what, though, there 3 banger games and 1 mystery game, the Oil City Aliquippa game up at Slippery Rock University. What's crazy is a lot of these games, we got North Pocono, Cardinal O'Hara at Whitehall, Southern Lehigh is at Blue Mountain, Elko for Susquehanna Township at Twin Valley, but that's pretty close to that area. A lot of Lehigh stadiums are District 7's raking in the fans. They're not raking in the money because now we're at the point where the PIAA collects the gate. But a lot of games are District 11, and that's nice to see that they have fields, but I'd sure like to see some other fields jump on board. However, I will say this much. The matchups and the stadiums match because they're like, I'd like to see a game at Mifflin County, but who's going to play there? There is no. So this year, without Cathedral Prep in the picture, there's no complaining about traveling long distances. So that kind of worked out for the PIAA with the brackets.
PIAA did a great job with getting neutral sites. I mean, I'll be honest. One of the first things I did when Ed put the sites up on our website was go on Google and see how far each school has to travel, especially for D12 teams. O'Hara, they have an hour ride. I looked to see how far North Pocono had. You know what? O'Hara's actually got the closer ride by like 7 minutes. So you can't fight about a 7-minute difference.
Yeah, I can actually argue our reporters have to drive farther to their games than the teams have to. I'm going 2 hours. I'm actually it's a treat though. I'm going to Clarion, and I'm gonna get to hang out with Pro Time.
Pro Time, yes, the legend.
Yeah, I got Pro Time this week with me at that game. But hey, 4A breakdown bracket breakdown. That's 1 and 4A. That's man, that's 2 classifications too fast, man. Hey, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna hear from some of our great sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to talk 2A and 5A. Old, new, old. It didn't change. It did change. We'll be right back after these messages.
C3 Sports and Events Center is located in the heart of Happy Valley. C3 Sports has the space you need for your next sporting, community, or professional event. We recognize that our community would benefit from a large, adaptable event venue that could host just about anything. So, if you have an event, we have the space for you. We are C3 Sports and Events Center in State College, Pennsylvania.
Circle W Sports is the complete all-in-one platform for high school sports, designed by former athletes, coaches, and athletic directors. Circle W Sports gives school and team personnel an easier solution to run their entire athletic departments with the help of these features. League Manager makes creating master schedules a breeze. Configure your divisions, build schedules, track league all-stars, and much, much more. Referee Manager helps assign and track game officials in the same platform. And with RefPay, your officials can get paid within hours instead of days or weeks. Enjoy live scoring and statistical services through our Performance Tracker and Stat Tracker apps. Learn how to track your workout or camp and combine statistics in real time. Then create any type of report after your results are tallied. The Stat Tracker app helps keep your fans involved, whether they are in the stands or at home, with live in-game stats. For more information, visit CircleWSports.com, the official online platforms of PA Football News and the PSFCA Big 33.
I would recommend becoming an official because you can feel like you're a part of a sport that you love.
We officiate for the athletes and for the sport that we love, and so as long as you keep them first, then it's going to be a great experience.
So the money I've made from officiating for the past few years, I put all that money into savings to pay to finish my college education. In 6 months, when I complete that, I will not be in any debt.
Officiating the state championship and getting that call to officiate the state championship was an emotional thing for me, just because of what I've been through, the ups and downs, and getting that call really meant a lot to me. Sometimes I see student athletes that I officiated years and years ago, and they say, "Man, you did a great job. Thanks for everything you've done."
Touchdown!
Juggled and caught!
Welcome back to the State of PA Football. Billy Splain with my staff all around me here. We got the 1 and 4A brackets done, and what a time we had. We talked about some other stuff. Right now, we're going to move on to, when I look at this bracket, guys, oh my gosh, the matchups are just out of this world, outstanding. let's go right to this one. Farrell and Richland. I saw both of those teams this weekend. Thanks to Matt, who dragged me literally from Shamokin to Altoona when I was already tired, running on fumes. He was like, "You got to get out of here. They're asking for you." But and then the weirdest thing happened. Oh, we're going to tell that story. But Farrell, man, oh man, I'll tell you what. They looked really good against Carson City. Running back Dorian Kane just goes up high and he had 3 interceptions that night. Made plays. Their running back can also get up in the air and make plays. They made plays offensively, which is something that they've been struggling to do most of the year, is make big plays. And Friday night they did. I got to tell you, they're very athletic. They're not huge up front. They had one big man, and that was it, but they're very athletic. Richland, on the other hand, McGurwa, as he rolls, they roll, right, Matt?
Yeah, in a game that was that close, it ended up being 14-7 over McCourt. You know, he scored the first touchdown on a pick six. Offensively, they were playing a high-low on him, so it was very difficult to get him the ball. It was pouring down rain as well quite often during the game. So, but yeah, that pick six, you know, it's half their points for the game. And then he also had a couple nice catches as well to lead that team. He's super athletic. He has like that body type that he looks like kind of like a D1 wide receiver type. You don't know, being a 2A kid, how that plays out. But he definitely has the look, you know, and
he almost has that tight end look to him, like coming out.
Yeah, he looks like a D1 kid. I mean, great speed, great hands. He's got long wingspan on him, wide wingspan. So tough kid, and Richland got it done in that game. I fully expected McCourt to win that game. From what I understand, their quarterback was out. Which I'm watching the game, and every time they're snapping the ball directly to their running back and he's taking off. And I'm like, what kind of offense is this? You know, how is this a powerhouse offense? But I guess their quarterback was down that game, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Going to be an exciting matchup. That game going to be covered by Stone Mangus. Again, we're going to put on a Fall Friday. That game is at Armstrong High School on Friday night at 7:00. Seton LaSalle and Steel Valley in the 2A championship at Acrisure Stadium. We talked about Steel Valley, and as the running back goes, so does Steel Valley. What team is going to show up? You never know. You just never know. For Seton LaSalle, athletes, they just and quiet athletes, like nobody, like no big names.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a surprise they're back in the final. They played South Park, in a very tight game in the district final at Acrisure last year. So obviously they didn't graduate all those kids. So super talented team in Seton LaSalle. If I had to pick a team, I think they would win this game, but I can't. I got to believe it's going to be a tight game. The 2A and the Whippeal has been, a roll of the dice for a long time, probably going back to Steel Valley when they played Southern Columbia in the state final. 2A has kind of been, back and forth between teams in the Whippeal.
Yeah, you never know who's. I mean, and quite frankly, like once you get beyond. It's one of those, there's Southern Columbia things, so 2A has pretty much been owned by the East. And if you didn't have Southern Columbia, who'd you have? You had Steel High for 1 year. I mean, it's just, they can't get by them. They can't get past them. And I'd like to see 2A change it is going to change. From what I'm reading with the new classifications, there might only be 14 or 15 2A teams in the Whippeal next year. And that's big news. A lot of teams are dropping down to single A, which increases single A size in Whippeal. So that's going to be kind of crazy. I don't even know what to think about that, but it's a couple of teams moving up, but that's another show. We'll talk about all that moving later on. But pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So let's move on to. I'm going to save that one for last. Williams Valley and Lansdale Catholic. Lansdale Catholic guys. Where'd they come from? Nick, what do you know about
my
Lansdale?
goodness. Lansdale Catholic has been slept on, I think, this entire year. Their quarterback, I think, was robbed of the Philadelphia Catholic League Blue MVP this year. It's the first time since 2008 in the Philadelphia Catholic League that a single player has had 1,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards in the same season, and that's what Yaboa Cobbold has had this year. And they've paired him up with James Webb Jr., who also has an Akron offer. Obviously, Cobbold is committed to Akron. So paired up with James Webb Jr., who's also a defensive back and leads the team in interceptions. James Webb Jr. is electric. He's an all-around athlete. He's the number one receiver for Cobbold. They have a very strong connection. But I think that Williams Valley is going to be their number one challenger this week.
Well, they're the only challenger, but yes, I think they're the best team. I know what you're saying, Nick. You meant to say this is the best team that they've seen so far this season. Brady Schomper, he's not a great quarterback at all, right, Matt? I mean, he's not great, but the kid just gets things done. He just does it. I don't know how they do it, and they just hang out a little bit. They'll fall behind and come back and sting you. I mean,
I don't know. Brady Schomper might have a disagreement with you there. He was a 2,000-yard, 1,000-yard kid last year, but
right. What I'm saying is he's not Matt Sig. Like, you don't talk about him like Matt Sig. Yeah.
No, but Williams Valley, look, I don't know what's wrong with Schuylkill Haven, but I thought for sure this was the year they were finally going to get past Williams Valley. Okay, they lost Caristia early, and he didn't play a huge role in that game, in the playoff game against Williams Valley. But this was the year for Schuylkill Haven to get past Williams Valley. Williams Valley's coach isn't even with the team, so this was definitely the year to get him, with a coaching change halfway through the season. And it just didn't happen. And like we talked about before, McKeesport can't get past Aliquippa. Williams Valley can't get past, Haven can't get past Williams Valley. There's just some teams that in a district final, you just can't get through them. And it happened again. And all the credit goes to Williams Valley because Brady Schomper, like Fletcher Thompson, I'm a big fan of, a running back for that team. Another Achenbach there. So those kids took on the challenge and got it done against Haven, and they got a very good chance to see themselves in a state semi this week, with a win.
Yeah, what a win. Their defense keeps them in the game. This is not a defense that has a 6'3", 6'4" defensive end coming at you, going to rip you apart. It's just a solid defense, and they play position defense. I was very impressed, and I told Ben HF that their current head coach, after we saw them 2 weeks ago, and I was down there with Brian Hollywood Tashinsky, and I said to him, your defense is like solid. There's no gaps in it. There's no gaps, and they played good football. Now, this is going to be an electric game. It's actually like I would put in the top 3 games of the weekend right here.
I don't think there's any question. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's going to be a top game. And then this one's kind of a mystery. Steel High and Southern Columbia. Steel High has the athletes. They get it done. But their schedule, they've not had what you would call a schedule that makes you battle tested. So what's interesting is Southern Columbia does have a schedule that has them battle tested.
Something happened to Southern Columbia in their regular season matchup against Bloomsburg. The offense just started clicking, and it's too bad for Bloomsburg because they had a fantastic season, and they were kind of the guinea pigs for Southern Columbia in that game. But something happened to Southern's offense in that game, and it is unreal. I've never seen the Southern offense be that smooth, and that's saying a lot because they've had some dynamic offensive and defensive lines, but I think their O line and their D line is incredible this season. That is a state championship line. Andrews and Grady Garcia are just running rampant. They dominated Troy this week. I think I counted one play that Troy got off and actually had a great play, and the rest was Southern Columbia. It was a dominant performance, and look out is all I can say.
Yeah, Steel High, interesting team this year. Started off with a walk-off win over Juniata. Their quarterback, Caden Cole Stevens, threw a pass that was caught on the sideline, got into the end zone. And then Line Mountain, actually, we talked about earlier, Line Mountain beat Steel High. And since that loss, Steel High has been on a mission. And, they haven't lost since. Now, I will say this. They lost to Susquehanna Township and Line Mountain in successive games. And then their schedule kind of drops. It's like Buchanan, Camp Hill, Susquehanna, Newport, Columbia, Halifax. Halifax was a nice team in the playoffs. Chestnut Ridge, I wouldn't call them a great team in the playoffs, kind of a surprise team. So that's what I mean by this schedule does not have them battle tested. So I can't, it's hard to say what they're going to do against a team like Southern Columbia because Steel High comes out with athletes and they're throwing the ball on the perimeter and they're running the perimeter and they have a couple of big linemen, but nothing to me says that they're going to match up with Southern Columbia in that line the way Southern Columbia is running at wing T right now.
Yeah, I don't think we talked too much about Steel High recently because they made that move from 1A to 2A. And, obviously coming off a ton of state titles, they lost, their graduating class for a 1A team was unreal a couple of years ago. So we just kind of, they got lost in the 2A mix. And here they are again. They're in a state quarterfinal. And, hats off to Coach Irby. He knows what he's doing. And I'm sure that he's got those kids thinking they're going to win the game this week.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. This is going to be a crazy, crazy, exciting game. And kind of looking forward to seeing what happens in that game in Sealands Grove. This weekend, we have Lindsey Bennett covering that game, and it's going to be exciting. And, of course, Dave Fagley with Black Diamond Network will be on the article. Fagley will have a video for us. He'll be the guy to follow on Twitter that night. What a bracket. I mean, like Steel High, Southern Columbia, Farrell, Richland, Steel Valley, names that you hear all the time.
Yo, God.
There are no strangers in that group. None. And Lansdale Catholic's been there before, too. What year was that, Willie?
Bring him, you know, Matt. 2004. 2004. Also, the last year District 1 won a state championship.
Did you know that, Nick?
No.
Now you do.
Nick, let me give you a history lesson.
We stumped the goat. We stumped the little goat.
The head coach of that 04 Lansdale Catholic team was the great Jim Aljo, whose son, Dan Aljo, God rest his soul, was the coach of O'Hara when I was in high school and was a good friend of mine.
The last time District 1 won a state title, the young goat was not alive.
No.
Yep.
All right, that's the 2A bracket. 4A bracket. Pine Richland, Peters Township in the marquee game at Acrisure Stadium. Ubi Strader. Wow. And Khalil Stewart. Wow. Holy cow. Stewart made an amazing interception this weekend in the end zone. The ball bounced up in the air twice. Stewart comes out of nowhere. Let me show it to you right now. He comes out of nowhere and takes the ball, and he's going 100 yards. Touchdown, Khalil Stewart. And he had a touchdown reception as well. Ubi Schrader had 2 touchdown runs. They did not dominate this past weekend, but this is a matchup that I think we knew was coming all year long, right, Matt?
Yeah, a couple years ago, believe it or not, Peters Township beat Pine Richlands. It was at Norwin. I was there, and that was Peters Township's first WPIAL district title. As good as Peters Township has been, you think they'd be piling up district titles, but that's how tough the WPIAL is. This should be a great matchup. I've been on the Pine Richland train all year, but DeLucia at quarterback for Peters Township is a tremendous slinger, and they got some really good kids. Reston Lehman, I think, is one of the best defensive players in the entire state.
Yeah,
it's
had an interception this weekend.
Yeah, it's the WPIAL, and anything can happen. I think Pine Richland comes in as the favorite, but if Peters wins this game, I don't think anybody's like, where do they come from?
No, yeah, it's not a mystery. I mean, Peters Township has been playing good football. I mean, this goes back to what, 5 or 7 years ago when Peters Township came on the scene. They had a kid that went down to play at Florida State, and they just all of a sudden, boom, there they are. Cole Newpaver is a very good athlete for Peters Township as well, at a receiver. So there's going to be some interesting matchups during this game, and I can't wait to see them. Let's move down to the bottom half of the bracket. Bishop McDevitt and Solanco. Jared, you saw McDevitt this week.
Yeah, the thing that's impressive about Bishop McDevitt is the line play. The line play was very, very impressive. And the other thing that impressed me is quarterback Sebastian Williams. He was much better than I anticipated he was going to be in that game. He was in complete control. He looked very solid. Of course, after Stone Saunders is gone, you figure they're going to take a big step down. They really haven't. I mean, they don't have the guy that Stone Saunders is dynamic, but they've got a good running game. They've got 3 good wide receivers. They got 3 running backs, and they've got offensive and defensive linemen. I mean, this is McDevitt to a T, like we've always seen them play and always seen them be built. And they're going to be a tough out for anybody. They're a tough team. Solanco's going to have their hands full.
Yeah, Solanco got here. It's kind of crazy. I mean, their schedule, they're not loaded with tough opponents or anything like that, but they got here just by being a solid football team. And, there's no other way to describe it. They don't have any superstars. They don't have any studs. They just get there and get it done. I'd like to, Gabe Forden, he's a good linebacker. I'd like to say Solanco has a chance, but man, I'm telling you, just McDevitt, I think, has been working for this point all year long, and they're on a roll.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Springfield, Delco, and Chester. Willie, take Chester, man. What do they got to do to beat Delco?
It's going to come down to the athletes, and as I mentioned earlier in the show today, they get their one weapon back in Devon Harris, and the Chester's defense has been on a roll of late. They've had 4 or 5 shutouts this season, but the biggest thing to me that looking at what they did last week against Westchester Ruston, they held Will Gardner to 34 yards rushing, which is impressive. And as a team, they held Westchester Ruston to 166 yards rushing on last Saturday down there in the A field. And now they're going to be on turf, so Chester speed is going to be even more quicker this week against Springfield Delco.
Dick, what does Delco have to do, my friend?
I don't think that the run game is going to be an issue for Springfield Delco, and if it is shut down, then they have a very poised quarterback, sophomore Johnny Hopkins, who I already spoke about a little bit earlier. I think he's really found his role, and he has a lot of weapons around him, like TJ Valetti and Luke Valerio, who I also spoke about a little bit before. Both running backs, but are both able to go out into the wide receiver position and play there very well. Valetti also is on the defensive side of the ball and is the main leader for the Springfield Delco defense. I think that they just need to play exactly the same as they did against Strathaven. They allowed 0 second half points. The defense really locked in and locked down, and I think that will be the key to a Springfield Delco win.
I'll give you one other name, Nick. Tanner Cole.
Oh, yeah. He scored a touchdown this week.
It'll be an exciting game.
You
I
know
saved this game
it's a
for
big game.
last.
You
I
know
saved
it's a
this
big game
game for
if me and Nick
last
are doing it.
because I love Homer Delatcher to death. The Hollidaysburg playing Roman Catholic.
This is what I said before. This is exactly what I said before. It's not Delaware Valley going to get up 21-0 on a team. You got Roman Catholic. Like, that's insane, dude. Like, we all of us, I think, we saw it last year, and they're humming along. They were 42-0 against Easton at halftime. Or I'm sorry, Whitehall. It just rough. Hollidaysburg really got to shore some things up quick.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I mean, for Hollidaysburg to have a shot at this game, and I'm not saying they don't have a shot. I think they do. I think they've got a couple of athletes that can play good defense, and that's going to be the key to Hollidaysburg's game. There's going to be two keys actually for their game. Number one, Carter Muth is going to have to help his quarterback, Cole Delatry, run a poised, time-consuming, long drive. They're not. I mean, if they're going to get in a shootout with these guys, this isn't Roman or Delaware Valley, like you said. This is Roman Catholic. You don't want to get in a shootout with Roman Catholic. So Carter Muth has to do his job. And on defense, I mean, defensively, they're just going to have to play position, keep everything in front of them, and not get things away, and just hope and pray that they can stay with them.
Can Delatry stay out of the turnover column? He's got 10 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and on the other side of the ball, you have Ian Stead, who's been the best defensive back in all of Philadelphia this year. If he can stay out of that turnover spot, then I mean maybe, but Roman Catholic's so dominant.
And
I don't know how Josh Banks is a great defensive back for Hollidaysburg. I mean, Josh Banks is probably one of the best defensive backs in the entire center of the state. But I mean, Roman Catholic is just I pray I'm wrong.
Multiple receivers, Ash Roberts and Ian Stead, both committed to Temple. That's your 1 and your 2 punch that are absolutely dominant with speed and have fantastic hands. So
and Samaj Beals is one of, if not the best quarterback that I've seen
all-time
come out of Philadelphia. And there's been some great quarterbacks that come out of Philadelphia. Samaj Beals is the real deal, and
I'm going to say this: I've seen bigger upsets.
I was going to say this, Billy. We talked about Hollidaysburg and the schedule and some of the teams they've gone to play because they play that independent schedule. It's not like they've played a bunch of slouches. They've played some decently tough teams. What they need to do is remember what happened to them last week and to pay that back against somebody. If they can do that, if they can get up early, then it's going to be a great game, close
I
game.
think that's
But
the
if they
key
get
for
down early,
Hollingsburg. Get up early.
yep,
You know,
that's it.
Don't let Roman score first. I think that's the key.
100%.
You're right.
100%.
What a bracket. We got Pine, Richland, Peters, Hollidaysburg, Roman, Springfield, Delco, and Chester, and Solanco, Bishop, McDevitt. Man, I can't pick a winner out of that bracket to come through. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. So that's the 5A breakdown. We did 2A a little earlier. We're going to take a break. We're going to hear from some of our sponsors. We're going to come back. We're going to talk big boy football. We're going to talk 3A, and then we're going to move on to 6A. So I'm Billy Swain. This has been the State of PA Football. We're going to come back after these messages from our sponsors.
Thank you for calling Promises Internet Service. Please remain on the line. Due to high call volume around the world, it's likely you'll be on hold for well over an hour.
Get faster speeds for less money than the national companies at Center Wisp in Central Pennsylvania. Center Wisp is your fast local internet provider. For more information, go to centerwisp.com. That's CENTREWISP.com. Now with faster speeds.
PAFootballnews.com and CWTAP. Tap into the state. PAFootballnews.com and CWTAP presents their weekly highlight show, bringing you, the viewers and fans, the best of the weekend's high school and college football action and interviews from all over the state of Pennsylvania. And introducing The View from the Sidelines, where you, the fans, can send in clips of your favorite team or athletes. Simply email your links or clips to Billy@PAFootballnews.com with the subject line, The View, by Sunday morning, and we'll try and present them on the program. PAFootballnews.com and CWTAP Tap into the State. Our weekly highlight show every Tuesday at 9 on CWTAP and the next morning streaming on PFN. We got you covered.
And he's in the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown.
Juggled and caught.
CoachComm is the proven and trusted leader in coaching communications. For over 30 years, we've built our business on innovation and winning, with the goal to equip your team with the best coaching communication available. 97% of all FBS programs and thousands of high schools and colleges across the U.S. choose CoachComm because CoachComm has the experience and the know-how to provide the very best in technology and winning solutions.
And welcome back to the State of PA Football. Got to thank our sponsors. Hope you tuned in last night to PFN Taps into the State. Hour and a half of highlights. You can still go check it out on our website. Right here's the logo. Go to our website. Look for this logo. PFN Taps into the State. We had highlights from nearly every single game across the state of Pennsylvania. I think we only missed 3 or 4 games. And what a job our crew does. Hey, we're going to thank, once again, I want to thank Coach Com. I want to thank Safer Sports, and I want to thank NFHS for being sponsors of these brackets, and I want to thank Circle W Sports for building these brackets, interactive brackets. Hey, let's get right to it. Matt, big game. Acrisure, Imani Christian, Avonworth.
Yeah, I think Imani's been looking forward to this game all year. We've been on Avonworth all season. You know, as a dominant 3A team, we've kind of thought about like that Northwestern Lehigh Avonworth rematch in the state finals, but you can't look past Imani, District 7 in the district final. So super athletic kids. It's going to be a great matchup. And I'll say this too, if you're a football junkie or you got a day, just go to Acrisure. You can watch football from 11 in the morning until 10 at night. 4 games.
Probably 12 at night.
Yeah, it's an awesome experience. The weather's been kind of mild this year, so it's probably a good year to go. But go out and watch 4 games at Acrisure all district finals. Awesome experience. You can probably eat about, I don't know, 32 hot dogs and 8 buckets of popcorn while you're there.
That's it, man. That's it. And
Sounds like
honestly,
sounds like a
like,
good day.
hey, I'm just checking the weather out right here, right now. It's not looking bad the next 2 weeks, which kind of scares me. What we're going to see on the 6th. But
Right.
a slight shower on Friday, 51 degrees. For those of you going to Acrisure, it looks like it's going to be about 55 degrees. How can you go wrong with that? 4 games, 55 degrees, Acrisure Stadium, Whitfield football. Great games.
Finally, some good football being played in Agrisur.
That's right. Luke and Neil getting it done this year, as usual. Just pounding away with the rock and getting it done. This is going to be an exciting game. I cannot wait to see this game. Mystery game, Sharon and Pencambria. Sharon with the big upset. Pencambria just kind of rolling through. And I'm going to be honest, because that's how I am. Pencambria did not have a rough road through the playoffs. They played a mediocre Brockway team, and they played that beat St. Mary's. They played Huntington, who was an okay football team. Forest Hills. Let's just say it wasn't a strong year this year in District 6 3A. Sharon, on the other hand, Sharon and Hickory go to battle all year long. It's Sharon's world to lose in this game, I think, right now. Just a lot of good athletes for Sharon. And, like I said, they took down Hickory, who we anointed as the team that was going to move their way through the playoffs and were state championship contenders. But Shane has been warning us all year long, don't forget about Sharon. We can't leave them off the list, so kind of a strange, different kind of game. Yusuf Cannon for Sharon had the big play last week. Got the 35-yard field goal. 28 seconds to play. Sharon beats Hickory. Boom, touchdown for Sharon is getting into the quarterfinals. Hickory won that game 21-19, by the way, earlier on this year. So that's been a tough battle. Interesting game there. Interesting game, guys. Moving on to the other side of the bracket. Newman, Goretti, and Trinity.
Yep.
Talk about Newman, Nick. What do you know?
Well, for Newman Goretti, tragedy struck in week 1 when their starting quarterback and the man that was supposed to lead them right where they are right now, Shane Sally, suffered a season-ending injury, and Makai Mitchell and Amar Woodson, the two running backs, have really had to buckle down and carry this Newman Goretti team offensively. Both of those guys have been just phenomenal. The quarterbacking hasn't been great, but it doesn't really matter when you have multiple running backs that can play all around and also can play the defensive side of the ball. The Newman Goretti defense is well stacked as well.
Willie, Newman Goretti didn't have a hard run through either. Conwell Egan at 3-7. Bartram wasn't a powerhouse this year. Then they get a week off, and now they got to take on Trinity, Matt.
Yeah, Trinity was I'll say an upset pick. They were the number 3 seed in District 3, but I did pick them to win the district, and the Shamrocks didn't let me down, man. They got a nice quarterback, controls the ball, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. They're a ball control offense. They're not going to hit too many big pops on you. But I think this is one of the best matchups. If you say, like, what's going to be the closest game of the week? Maybe Trinity and Newman Goretti, fills that bill for you. The Shamrocks are a solid squad. I saw them against Susquehanna Township. They lost that game 24-14, but it was close right to the end. So don't be surprised if Trinity finds themselves in the state semis. Unreal, right?
Yeah, Marcus Yeager, defensive end for Trinity. Sam Mulba, he's committed to UMass. Yeager to Richmond. This team is not a weak team. Marcus Yeager, definitely a good football player. And so is Mulba. This is a team that returned a lot from last year's squad. So yeah, you could definitely say that this team is dangerous. And
the thing I'm
yeah,
interested to see, Billy, is how, like you mentioned, Newman Grady hasn't been tested since the weekend of Halloween when Conwell Egan, when they played in Conwell Egan, they beat them 20-7. They steamrolled Bartram in the city title game, and then had the week off. Is there going to be any signs of any rush for them, especially when it comes to a tight game? But I know one thing. I've learned my lesson about doubting Albie Crosby, so he's going to have his boys ready to rock and roll.
it's been a quiet year for Newman Goretti. They've been quiet. They've just kind of been chipping along, and here they are in the quarterfinals. Scranton Prep and Northwestern Lehigh. Northwestern Lehigh, Matt, just doing things, but Scranton Prep is on a roll.
Yeah, Jared can give you the Scranton High or Scranton Prep news. For Northwestern Lehigh, it's business as usual. And this it's a kind of a surprising, they're returning 5 defensive starters and 5 offensive starters from last year, and they look just as strong as they did in that state final game when they won the chip. So I think this is going to be another competitive game. Jared can tell you more about the prep, but Northwestern Lehigh, business as usual.
Yeah. Yeah, just saw a stat come across. 8 years ago today was the lowest scoring championship game in NCAA history. Quaker Valley beat Aliquippa in the rain, in the mud, in the slop, 2-0. We talked about that game. AJ was there. Crazy game. What a game that was. Scranton Prep, dude.
Yeah. So it's a story of take the first 3 games of the season out pretty much and see where it lies. The record is not where it's at for this team. The story for this team is week 4 of the season, Will McPartland, who is the heart and soul of the team, comes back. And the kid's averaging in 10 games since he's returned almost 100 yards rushing, 150 yards passing, and 4 touchdowns a game. And he plays terrific on defense. And their defense is all over the place. The only thing that concerns me is, again, they've ridden this high. They've had to play some teams that were pretty tough 3 weeks in a row. Wyoming area was 9-1. They put a lot of points up. Prep hammered them. Berwick was 11-0. Prep hammered them. And then Mifflinburg, and they got in a shootout with Mifflinburg. I will say they shut Mifflinburg out in the second half, which I think made a bit of a statement that they're just not just, what everybody sees on the highlight reel with McPartland and this and that and the other thing. So if their defense shows up, gets a stop, maybe there's an interception, this Northwestern Lehigh game could be a real barn burner, crazy close game. I just don't know. I know that to a man, though, Prep wants it again because they got there last year. And their quarterback got hurt in the second quarter, and McPartland came in at quarterback, and late in the third quarter, he got hurt, and Northwest Lehigh was just too good for him. I know the Prep kids want to play him again, and I know they're looking forward to this game, so could be a wild one down there in Berwick.
Yeah. Down in Berwick, crazy. It's kind of weird to have you get to go back to the team to the field of the team that you just crushed the week before. That's kind of strange, but I don't think I remember that ever happened.
Well, that's where they played them last year too. They played Northwestern Lehigh Berwick. That was that snow game. We had to have a double header there. The games got moved last year. We had all that crazy snow last year.
So it's kind of like a stepping stone. It's like, okay, Berwick, you got to watch Scranton Prep play here. Then next year, okay, Berwick, Scranton Prep's going to kick your butt here. And then you're going to watch Northwestern Lehigh play Scranton Prep again here.
It's just crazy. I don't know, man. Weird how it works out.
3A bracket set, ready to go. Good stuff. Let's move on to the 5A bracket, guys. Or the 6A bracket, big boy football. That's what they call it. I am going to start off. Let's go right to this game. State College, Central Catholic. Central Catholic with a big line. State College with a bunch of no names.
Yeah, this will be a good test for PCC. They played LaSalle first game of the year. Maybe it was first week of the year. And 6A out in the Whippeal, there's not a lot of teams out there. So they kind of have to piece the schedules together. They don't see many 6A teams. But like you said, State College, very experienced team and like on the defensive side. But they graduated 31 kids last year. So that they got a lot of kids in new spots. Their defensive backfield is talented. They have some defensive backs with some experience. So we'll see how that plays out against PCC. Like you said, big line for PCC. They're going to have to stop Roman Thompson running the ball. Ashton Blatt.
He had a couple of touchdowns this week. Roman Thompson looks good.
Yeah, and a good wrestler too. You'll see him at the state finals. But yeah, it's a big line for PCC. Ashton Blatt, tough kid on defense for the Vikings. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't think you're going to see a blowout in this game. I think if State College,
either. I think it's a close game, and I think State College does have a chance to win this game. Dante Sheffy at running back and Connor Kolka at quarterback. Sheffy started the game off last week. Now, it was Wilkes-Barre, but he started off with 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Sheffy still can run. I just don't think State College has had to showcase Steffi that much this year. I know against McDevitt, they had a tough game against McDevitt. Harrisburg, they went toe-to-toe with Harrisburg. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago in our ranking show. I said, how do we have State College ranked so low and Harrisburg so high when basically State College and Harrisburg went toe-to-toe, and then State College lost to McDevitt and ruined my argument. But so yeah, you got to win that game to keep Billy's argument, legit. So thanks a lot for ruining that. But Hank Lustig had a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown for State College. Sheffy had 4, I think, touchdowns. Wilkes-Barre didn't put up much of a fight. Trayvon Gambitsky was their only highlight, really. He got an interception off of Coco, but it was already 45-0 at that point in the game. I think State College has a legit chance at that at this game.
As long as PCC doesn't run with their quarterback, they should be okay. I can't believe this is he's got minus 121 rushing yards on the season. So just don't let him run the ball at all.
He's running the wrong way. Something happened. Maybe he's kneeling on the ball after. Maybe he's kneeling on the ball after all their wins.
There you go.
Got to send the goat out. Tell them how it's done. Yeah. Harrisburg at Central York. Harrisburg struggled this week to get rolling against Manheim Township. Holding penalties, discipline. They're going to have to clean that up against Central York, or they're going to get upset. Central York has the athletes to break loose and score some points. But defensively, Harrisburg just smothers you. I mean, they just suffocate you turnover after turnover. And you think you're like, you think that they're going to just like give up, and they just keep smothering you, and you don't move the ball at all. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be high-powered Central York against a Harrisburg team that will suffocate your offense.
Central York looked pretty good against Wilson, though, right? Like, they looked pretty good. So this could be a good game. Good game.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I think as defense goes, so does Harrisburg. Of course, the big news today or yesterday was their big man just he decommitted from Brown. Kevin Brown decommitted from Penn State when Franklin moved, and he committed to West Virginia, which is where his father played football. So that made sense. So Kevin Brown heading to West Virginia. he's a terror. So Central York's going to have their hands full with him. And of course, they have the stud running back who also plays defensive back, and he's been kind of quiet this year, Matt. Been injured.
Yeah, I think sometimes like Harrisburg, I'm not going to say they sleepwalk through the season, but they're so talented that it doesn't, they can turn it on when they want. And then when the playoffs roll around, Coach Cal's got them ready to go. I was not impressed with Messiah Mickens during the regular season last year, and it's probably because he didn't have to put too much effort into scoring touchdowns during the regular season. But when I saw him in the playoffs against PCC at Altoona, that was a different football player, and that's the D1 football player that everybody's chasing. So Mickens will be ready. Brown will be ready. They got their quarterback situation figured out from the beginning of the season this year. So I like Harrisburg.
Princeton. Yeah, look out for Princeton Dent too. The kid's a stud.
Yeah.
He comes in to relieve Mickens. He does a great job too.
And there's a lot of, there's 6A's wide open. You got the prep out of the way, and it's a chance for a public school to get a state title. Hasn't happened in a long time.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about those teams that are in the way here very soon. It's an interesting group. So let's get right to it. Penridge and North Penn. Penridge comes out of nowhere. I mean, this is one of those teams where you're like, what are they doing here? And then North Penn, Dick Beck has been leading this team to winning seasons since I think like 1924, something like that.
Just about. Now, I'll start I'll just state the interesting tidbit here. If Penrith wins tonight or this weekend, they face the possibility of facing their arch rival Quakertown on Thursday in what is one of the dying breeds of the Philadelphia area, Thanksgiving Day football, and then having to face the winner of Easton LaSalle that Saturday. So it's very possible that we could see the two teams in the eastern part of the semifinal meeting each other on Saturday after both having a Thanksgiving Day game, which would be crazy when you think about it like that. But for Penridge, Noah Keaton has thrown for almost 1,500 yards for the season. So he's haven't seen him from his freshman year, his first start. Will Doherty and Ryan Rowe have been solid on the ground game for the Rams, who are coming in. I know I personally did not have them coming in unbeaten, and I don't think anybody else here did.
Nobody on our staff had Penridge picked this year. North Penn getting it done on the ground. Penridge getting it done both ways through the air and on the ground. It's going to be an interesting matchup. And ladies and gentlemen, the last matchup of the weekend that we're going to talk about, I think this is a really big game. I really do. And this might be the biggest game of the weekend, I think. Easton and LaSalle College. I think Cole and Easton have a chance to knock off LaSalle College, Matt.
Well, if they play like they did last week against Parkland, that'll help. So Ordway, is a problem. So LaSalle's going to have to keep an eye on him. And also, the athletes on the LaSalle side, they got to play well. So O'Brien, on both sides of the ball, Sidwire at quarterback, Nelson at running back. Like the amount of talent on the field is impressive. And, we'll see if Easton can get it done. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the state, not just in District 11, pulling for Easton to win that ball game.
Yeah, he's a problem for sure. And they really hammered Parkland like we talked about earlier. Nick, LaSalle College, they're just rolling, aren't they?
Listen, they are very good. They got to face an Easton team who's won their first District 11 title in first time in 15 years, and Cole Ordway, who's a real problem. He's got 34 rushing touchdowns, which is unbelievable for the quarterback of a football team. But for LaSalle, they have high quality college recruits and just overall good football players all around the board. Their starting quarterback, Gavin Sidwar, committed to the University of Missouri. He's a problem. Their starting receiver and cornerback, Joey O'Brien, committed to Notre Dame to play football. He is a real problem. And when they get going at him, they have another man on the right side of the field, and Owen Johnson, who's breaking out this year and has been a real force. He against St. Joe's Prep, he had all the touchdowns to knock them out, and it was huge for him. And then in the backfield, they have Azir Nelson, who was a first-team All-Catholic this year, and not a lot of people are talking about him because he's overshadowed by the receivers that LaSalle has right now. But Azir Nelson has been a real big force for LaSalle College High School this year.
I think you just covered the whole league. Go.
You crushed us all, kid. You crushed us all, man. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good. To me, this is the game of the week right here, Easton and LaSalle College. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This is a very talented, a deep LaSalle team, but this is not the St. Joe's Prep 3 years ago, Marvin Harrison Jr. juggernaut that we're used to seeing in the 6A playoffs. If there was a year it could happen, I think this is the year that we could see no District 12 team in the 6A game. I mean,
absolutely. This is the year. This is if there's ever a year, this is the year.
That's not me rooting against District 12. That's not me rooting against District 12 either. That's just me saying they have dominated. St. Joe's Prep has dominated it. Nobody else out of the East has come to the state championship game. It's been St. Joe's Prep or nobody.
And look at us. And now we have a new D12 champion, so it's natural for us to decide to one of this year.
So, guys, what I'm seeing, a little bit of trend, and this is for Nick and Willie, both, mostly Willie, because you'll know the history, but St. Joe's Prep last year was a really good football team. This year they're pretty good, but not stellar.
The offense.
LaSalle is good, not stellar. Now you've got O'Hara back up in there. Archbishop Carroll wasn't bad. Ryan had some D1 athletes. You got Belmont Charter coming up. Imhotep almost beats LaSalle. Are we starting to see kids is it kind of leveling out a little bit right now, or is it just an anomaly year?
No, I just think this just speaks talent levels about how balanced the Catholic League is, and that's, to me, that's when the Catholic League is at its best, is when there's constant battles. Going back to before Young Goat was even born, back in the early 2000s, it was always always had the Prep that was good. LaSalle was always good. Roman always had the athletes. O'Hara. Every week in the Catholic League Red, the old Catholic League Red was always the grind, because back then you had Ryan in the Red division. Father Judge was good, and every week it was a battle. Now the past decade or so, it's always been the Prep and everybody else in the Catholic League. Now it's starting couple years ago, I would say.
That's what I'm asking, though, Willie. Are the teams staying home? Are the kids starting to stay home more often? They're not going. Are they starting to see, if I go to St. Joe's Prep, I may not play because Marvin Harrison Jr. is ahead of me.
I think that's the case, and I also think that the other Catholic, one thing St. Joe's Prep does great is get their brand out there. But I think what you're seeing is the other schools are doing a great job getting their name out there, and the kids are starting to see, hey, I don't have to necessarily go to St. Joe's or LaSalle to get my name out of my
right. That's what,
100%, yeah. Because
that's what I'm getting at. I mean, look at O'Hara, they got going. So I mean, he didn't have to go to St. Joe's Prep, and he could have. And honestly, if he would have went to St. Joe's Prep, he probably would have started. He would be their starting running back.
And
I think that's what we're seeing there. I think that's what we're seeing down in Philadelphia.
I think the Philadelphia Catholic League is the best league overall in the state of Pennsylvania, and right now it's so balanced, and since it's become such a well-respected and recognized league, your overall goal as a high school player is eventually to make it to that next level and be recognized to get on to that next level. And since the Catholic League is so respected now, it doesn't matter if you go into the red division or the blue division. The impact that you have on your team is going to show to everybody that is coming around to the Philadelphia Catholic League, because it doesn't matter what division you're in or what team you're on, because it's such a good league.
I would agree with that, Nick. And another thing I would
How
say
can
is
you argue with that?
College coaches know any college coach that has recruited the Philadelphia Catholic League and has gotten a player from the Philadelphia Catholic League sees what they've gotten from the player. So naturally, they're going to naturally start looking around at other Catholic League schools, and they're saying, hey, you know what? There's another player that can help our program at this school, and they're finally getting the recognition we see. And let's be honest, the Catholic League this is as balanced of a year as it's been for the Catholic League. I mean, look at in the red division, you had Roman lost to Prep in overtime, but then LaSalle beats Prep, but then LaSalle's one loss in the red division this year was to who? Roman. And you look at Bonner. Beats O'Hara in the regular season. For a championship game.
Yeah.
O'Hara.
That's what I'm saying. In a short sentence, that's what I'm saying. Is there's parity down there, So I think that's what we're seeing.
And it's great to see.
It is good to see. I think we're starting to see it all over the state of Pennsylvania. As a matter of fact, some good battles all over the place this year. That's been the state of PA football. We broke down the brackets. Good luck to everybody playing this weekend. And I want to say it again. I'm going to say it every week. If you have not gone to a high school football game this year, but you watch our show, get out to a high school football game on Friday night. Or, like Matt said, go gorge yourself on popcorn and hot dogs and watch an entire day of football and not have to get up out of your seat. Unless you have to use the John. But go see a football game. Go see a football game live. The kids deserve it. You should go do it. And if you absolutely positively want to watch a game but you can't get there, all the games will be on NFHS Network. And we are your official NFHS Network hub. You go to our website on Thursday, we will have a list of every single game with links to go and subscribe. If you're smart, you'll figure out a way to cheaply subscribe. You can watch the rest of the playoffs right on NFHS for less than the cost of admission to a football game. This is Billy Splain for my team around me. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you on the sideline somewhere. PA Football News, we got you covered.
PAFootballNews.com and CWTAP. Tap into the state. PAFootballNews.com and CWTAP presents their weekly highlight show, bringing you, the viewers and fans, the best of the weekend's high school and college football action and interviews from all over the state of Pennsylvania. And introducing The View from the Sidelines, where you, the fans, can send in clips of your favorite team or athletes. Simply email your links or clips to Billy@PAFootballNews.com to subject line The View by Sunday morning, and we'll try and present them on the program. PAFootballNews.com and CWTAP tap into the state. Our weekly highlight show every Tuesday at 9 on CWTAP and the next morning streaming on PFN. We got you covered.
At PAFootballNews.com, we've got you covered. If you're looking for the best coverage of high school football in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, check out PAFootballNews.com. From schedules to rankings, game coverage to Friday night scoreboard, live streams, and more, PA Football News is the one-stop shop for everything high school football in Pennsylvania. Follow us on Twitter at PA Football News and visit us at PAFootballNews.com. We got you covered.